Hey everybody, welcome back to this week's Dark Avenger Comic Book Review. 2 books left. First is All New X-Men, issue number 6. By far one of my favorite books in the Marvel Now line. Or the Marvel line. Really, Marvel Now eventually is going to become just Marvel Comics. So, well, you know what I mean.
You gave him an idea, didn't you?
Shut up, let's keep going. So it starts off with Jean's being visited by Cyclops and Magneto, and Cyclops is warning her, they're going to kill you, you got to get out of here, and enter Wolverine, and he accidentally he let's just say, yeah, bad things happen, and in Jean's eye is the Phoenix Force.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Huh.
I just have a very bad feeling that because Jean is back in the Marvel U, so is the Phoenix Force within her. But anyway, she wakes up, Kitty Pryde comes into the room and she's like, Jean, you okay? And she's talking about, she had a nightmare, and Kitty's talking about how they first met and everything, and Jean's worried, you know, she's like, I died, my family died, Charles Xavier's dead. She's like, it's too much to handle, and she's like, don't worry about anybody. She's like, where are the others? She's like, don't worry, they're fine. And then it jumps to Cyclops, who's in the lunchroom, and he's like, yesterday I was the leader of the X-Men, but that was yesterday, at least for me. And he can't take it. He's like, how? How can I be this thing now? How could I have done this? And he runs off, kind of like what Wolverine used to do, except he ran off with Wolverine's bike and jacket, and you have Wolverine chasing after. Jean gets another flash hit with her powers, and she's now got like a million thoughts.
Yeah, like I was just saying,
in her
like,
head.
there's just so many.
I'm very curious what this code is. 23423.
And then 2 boxes.
I think it's the repeating of it. And if you read some of these word bubbles, they're very interesting. It's like
Emma
Frost, Scott, Cyclops.
Step off.
Cyclops was right.
The person who died.
Phoenix in a bottle.
Ninjas with a question mark. Huh.
Yeah, there's just a lot of thought bubbles. You guys could sit there and read it. One of them's like, I wonder if Kitty will be looking after the team, and then it's like ... There's just tons of thoughts that pour into Jean's head from the school, and Kitty slowly but surely helps Jean to close all the doors that are in her mind, so she can't hear anything except for Kitty's voice, and it works. And she's like, who taught you that, Xavier? She's like, sorry, my thoughts betrayed me. So basically, yeah, it was Charles Xavier that taught her that. And then Kitty says, you have a team to lead. And she's like, wait, I'm not a leader, Scott's the leader. And then Storm entered, and she's like, except it was you who convinced all of them to stay in this displaced time. They listened to you. You're the leader. And also Kitty says, where was it? Scott's not going to have everyone's trust here, the young Scott. So she's like, where is Scott? I don't sense him here. And that's where Storm's like, he left, but Wolverine went after him.
Oh, there's Cyclops doing the X thing.
Yeah, so we don't know where Cyclops is going, but he goes into this convenience store, and this woman says, you look just like him, and she shows him a picture of Rolling Stone magazine, which has Cyclops on it, the present one we hate more Cyclops. He's like, how much? She's like, $4.99, and he's pissed off because he's from back in the day, so he's not used to the prices of things now. So he ends up buying the book. Now remember, he has Wolverine's jacket, and he's like, why would he need so much money? And then you just see Wolverine show up behind him. He's like, because it's none of your damn business.
Wow. Where'd he come from?
And he's ready to drag Cyclops back to the school, and he's like, and Cyclops is like, I don't know who you think you, and then he hurts his hand because Wolverine has the adamantium skeleton, and he's like, I'm the guy that Xavier put in charge of the school before you murdered him. Now that's who I think I am. And he's like, I didn't do that. And then that's where Wolverine goes, yet. And that's where things start getting bad. You know, Cyclops gets suppressed. Wolverine is trying to convince Cyclops that he needs to go back to his regular time, and everything will be erased from his mind. It's like it never happened. And that's where Cyclops bends down to fix his boot, and he's like, "Unbreakable bones?" He's like, "Yep, okay." He takes out Wolverine, steals the bike, and runs. But even Wolverine doesn't know where he's going, but he's going somewhere. While a little bit further back, you have Warren, who's still wondering where his future self is. And he gets to meet firsthand his future self. And he realizes his future self has no memory and metal wings. So, yeah. I'll save you guys the stuff there, but it turns out somebody else finds out that there's a young Cyclops. Her name is Mystique.
Oh.
You guys saw from the next cover. I can't wait to see the next cover. The next issue. It's going to be awesome. Mystique wants to see it for herself. So young Cyclops is out there, probably going after himself. He probably wants to go confront the present Cyclops.
And what if Jean takes it the wrong way? If Mystique, like, let's just say.
I don't know. If I would have known the cover was done by Chris Boccello, I would have just stuck with the regular cover, by the way. There is a 50th anniversary for the Avenger book this coming Wednesday. I didn't get that, but that's because all the Avenger covers are conjoined, so I didn't want to ruin the picture. But I want to see Cyclops meet himself again. I think that's what young Cyclops is trying to do. He's out there trying to find his older self and confront him and say, "What have you done?" kind of, to figure out why Cyclops has become the way he's become. I'm really interested in seeing what happens next. I can't wait. This is, like I said, one of my favorite books that have come out since Marvel now started. It's an awesome book. Highly recommend you guys check out the all-new X-Men. Even if you're not X-Men fans. The only thing that I kind of noticed, there's going to be a ton of X-Men books by the time Marvel now is said and done, and there's a ton of Avenger books. But the Avenger books, they only added one team, the Uncanny Avengers. X-Men's going to have Uncanny, all-new X-Men, X-Men, Wolverine and the X-Men, the two Wolverine books, which they don't really count as X-Men books.
Next book.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of X books. There's like every team. The Extreme X-Men's ending, Age of Apocalypse is ending. Who didn't see that coming?
Wolverine Max is still...
I don't even know what's going on with Wolverine Max.
Neither do I.
So, this leads us to the grand finale, the number one for this week. Next week there are two number ones.
Oh,
but this week there's only one, and that's Savage Wolverine issue 1. They did not... I actually went back to see if the baby variant was available. The baby variant is not available from Midtown at least yet. Probably next week it'll come out, knowing my luck. But it's a cool cover. So, was the book worth it? Is the book worth keeping? Well, Wolverine's in the Savage Land, and we don't know how he got there. We do know, however, how Shanna got there. Shanna the Savage. I don't really know her name off the top of my head, but it's Shanna or Sana. It's Shanna. Shanna.
Yeah, Shanna.
And Shield. They're doing some geological studies, but turns out there's a temporal field, and they get taken down. That was 8 months ago. 8 months in the future later, Wolverine shows up out of nowhere, has no idea how he ended up even in the Savage Land. But now it's all about a fight to survive. And that's what he's doing. He's just surviving, and then he sees, from those of you that saw the preview, the SHIELD agent being taken away by Neanderthal people. Then the fight ensues. And we all know Wolverine won, so let's skip over that. And, yeah, the SHIELD agent's dying, but he tells Wolverine where the ship is. It's all internal dialogue. I will say that, kind of like Thor. The thought bubbles, instead of being thought bubbles, are thought squares. And that's where, and I can understand where people are talking about now with this artist, Frank Cho. I want to make sure I'm right. No, VC, no, it's letterer. Yeah, no, it's Frank Cho. He draws women very nice. Shanna attacks Wolverine not knowing it's Wolverine. And she's explaining why she and the SHIELD people are there. So this book is kind of like a setting up. Wolverine doesn't know how he got there, But Shanna's explaining how she got there, how they tried to escape, and every attempt they had at escaping didn't work, and then they get attacked by Reapers. And things don't look good for Wolverine by the end of this issue. So really, this issue feels to me like it was, okay, Wolverine's on the Savage Land. We don't know how he got there or why yet. However, we get a full-fledged story of why Shanna's there, how she got there, and that there's some type of a secret that this island is holding, and there's a jammer device that's preventing any radio signals to go out or to come in. So the mission is to find that that jammer, or that static field machine, and destroy it. This way they'll be able to send a signal out and get somebody to help them.
Okay.
So it's really just one big backup story, just not with Wolverine. The backup story is for Shanna. Wolverine has no idea how he got on the island. However, he knows to survive he's going to have to find the machine, destroy it, and get a distress signal out to the Avengers or to whoever. Really good issue. The title says it all. It's definitely Savage, and I will say, you know, when people said Frank Cho was known to draw women in skimpy bikinis, yeah.
You sure wasn't also added Itsy Bitsy Teeny Yellow Polka Dot Bikini that you wore for the first time today? Or you just a bikini?
So I don't know what all of you guys, how all you guys feel about Savage Wolverine, but I liked it enough to say I'll be coming back for the next issue. I leave it up to you guys. Really, I think I'll know if I want to keep Savage Wolverine when Wolverine comes out. I believe in 2 months. That's gonna tell me. That'll tell me whether I'm gonna keep both books or just the one Wolverine book. And the only reason why I'm buying this is because it's the only Wolverine solo right now. But the story's interesting. Do I see this lasting if the whole point of the Savage Wolverine is him being trapped in the Savage Land? I think this has maybe a 12-issue potential. But if after the Savage Land they have other stories planned out, then I see this lasting for a while, because there were like 3 Wolverine titles at one time. There was Wolverine, The Best There Is, and there was Wolverine with the...
Wasn't there Wolverine X?
There was Wolverine X, but I'm saying
yeah.
Wolverine solos. There was Wolverine, and
the Wolverine Goes to Hell?
No, that was Wolverine.
No.
I'm forgetting, what was he part of? I keep forgetting what he was part of.
There wasn't no Weapon...
Weapon X. Wolverine Weapon X.
Yeah.
And then there was one about Wolverine Legacy, or not Legacy,
just
Wolverine
so many
something. There were too many
books.
Wolverine books,
I can't remember them all.
So if they could have 3 existing at the same time, they could have 2 Wolverine books existing at the same time. This is something I leave up to you guys, but at the same time, if you're Wolverine fans, you might want to check this out. The artwork's really good. Story's interesting. Let's see where it goes before we make a definitive judgment. The first issue, especially when it's a first issue explaining how one of the characters got there and what's going on, I need a little bit more before I can make a judgment on the book. So we'll see in issue 2. And with that, we're done with this week's comics.
Yeah.
So we'll see where Savage Wolverine goes. We'll see where all the other books go. I'm looking forward to next week. Next week there's a lot of books coming out.
So
As I said, guys, when it comes to Superman and Action Comics, it all depends on when the new story arc happens in Superman and when I have a good relaying point to get back to reviewing Action Comics. But yes, I am back on board with all the Superman books. There will be maybe 1 or 2 other DC books I add to my pile, especially since most of my indie books are now going digital. There might be 1 or 2 more that I'll add from DC as well. I'm going to pick and choose throughout the year. We'll see this time next year what goes on or what books I keep. So, Savage Wolverine issue 1, I leave it up to you guys. I think I need to read issue 2 before I can tell you guys whether it's worth picking up or not, because this was more of a, okay, this is how we got here, this is what we have to do, let's see what's going to happen next. And then they get attacked and Wolverine is on a let's just say Wolverine's going to hit the ground hard in the next issue. All New X-Men issue 6 was awesome. I love it. One of my favorite titles out of Marvel now. New Avengers issue number 2, the Illuminati, Affinity Gems, Gauntlet, everything. Really good, really interesting. I love how in this book it's like a darker side of the Marvel Universe in a way, because it's like gloomy, and like Reed Richards is like, we're going to have to think about destroying a world, and That's something you don't see every day. Punisher Nightmare issue 3.
Great issue. Only 2 more weeks left until we end it.
Indestructible Hulk issue number 3 was also another awesome issue, but once again, this issue is more of a Shield pointing Hulk in a direction and Hulk going from point A to point B and saving the day. Hulk still doesn't even talk at this point. He's completely mute. When he becomes the Hulk, all it is roaring and just flat out butt kicking. There is no Hulk smash. There's no anything. So Daredevil issue 22 was awesome. For those of you who have been looking to jump on to Daredevil, issue 23 will be your jumping on point. Don't forget what I said about the last page of this book. If you missed it, go back to part 1, I believe, where I discussed Daredevil. Was it part 1? Or was it part 2?
I think it was part 2.
Part 2. It was part 2. I just
last
realized.
part, yeah.
Check out part 2 and you'll see what happened in Daredevil, but it looks like Daredevil's world's about to get really shaken up. And I did leave a lot out, actually. Also to note, Matt and Foggy are trying to settle their differences, and Matt wants to bring the company back with Foggy. He wants to start working with Foggy again. Avenging Spider-Man issue number 16. Whoa, you could see how Doc Ock is really going to be changing Pete's life. X Factor 250.
Awesome issue. You guys have definitely got to pick this up. Greatest book of the week.
Venom issue 30. Awesome last page. Can't wait for the next issue, and can't wait to see the whole conflict between Flash Thompson, his demon, and the symbiote. Avengers Assemble issue number 11. This was an awesome story arc. I won't be coming back for the next story arc, but it was really cool. I definitely think you guys should check it out. Captain America issue 3, like I said, leaves me on the fence. I don't know if I'm going to keep it or if I want to drop it. I know I'm getting the next issue just to see what happens next, but the next issue is definitely going to determine whether I drop this book and wait for the story arc to end, or I keep this book and see the story arc through because I'm just too interested to see what happens next. Batman issue 16, this is a definite must-have. Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo, come on. You need more than that. It's the Joker. The Joker's sick, demented, and I think this time the Joker went a bit too far. And Batman and Robin issue 16 I leave up to you guys, but it was also a really interesting, good read. And that's it, guys. I'll see you guys next week for another Dark Avenger Comic Book review. Don't forget to check out comicrelated.com for all your comic-related news, reviews, and more. Huge things are going to be coming out of comicrelated.com, as well as Dark Avenger Inc. and the now fully formed, by the end of next week, Dark Avenger Inc. Plus. There are still surprises from not only Dark Avenger Inc. Plus, but from Dark Avenger Inc. We got big things coming all around. On this channel I have some news also. I'm just waiting till most of the news on the Inc. channels are ready, and then I'm just going to give you guys a full Avenger log on everything that's going on. So just stay tuned for that. Don't forget to also check out our Facebook page. That's where we all post our news from Dark Avenger Inc. It's on facebook.com/Dark Avenger Inc. Give the page a like. Make sure you're on the feed list so you'll be able to see all of our news and posts and whatnot, because we don't use our Twitter. I rarely use my Twitter, and yeah, so all of our news is on the Facebook page. You're not going to want to miss out on that. So guys, hope you guys have a great week. I'll see you guys on Dark Avenger Inc. for more videos. Hopefully I'll see you guys at a comic book corner at some point. I'm not making any promises at this point because I'm doing a lot of work everywhere else right now. Till then, see you guys there. Take care, keep reading, and keep collecting.
And keep watching.
I'll see you guys real soon in another video. Take care, everybody.
Later, guys.